Hey folks, excited to talk about raid builds for the Shadow Priest. Although it's not all good news and sunshine right off the hop here going into the Sanctum of Domination. We did see the four legendaries come out of each covenant, and they didn't make a huge difference for us here from a talent perspective. Conduits, Dissonant Echoes was definitely one of the preferred ways to go. It used to buff Void Bolt damage by 35%, now that's down to 20. For spells, Devouring Plague damage was reduced by 18%, pretty substantial. Shadow Word Pain damage was increased by 25%, and Vampiric Touch damage was increased by 25%, so not terrible. We did see some changes though on legendaries. Flame Prism was reduced by about 15% from a damage perspective, and Talbodar's Stratagem was nerfed by 8%. So we got the feeling that 9.05 was too good for our Shadow Priest brothers. As far as talent builds going into the Sanctum of Domination, you're going to go with pretty much the following exclusively. Tier 1, Fortress of the Mind. Tier 2, Body and Soul. Tier 3, Twist of Fate. Tier 4, Last Word. Tier 5, Auspicious Spirits. Tier 6, Mindbender. And Tier 7, Hungering Void. Now we see this pretty much all the time. On Soul Render Dormazane, we are seeing a slight change on Tier 3, where Misery might actually get a little bit more play, and with Vampiric Touch actually getting buffed, that's not a terrible option for us. Not terrible. As far as legendaries go, Shadow Flame Prism is head and shoulders above the competition. Now, you could have already carved this potentially, this legendary, either on your head or your hands. If you did it on your head, that's where you're going to be getting Sanctum of Domination sockets. So don't waste the domination socket on somewhere such as a head, a chest, or a shoulder. That's where you're going to be picking up these sockets, and they are the difference maker as we go further down the road. As far as covenants go, you want to go with Night Fae. Nia is your best soul bind, so take full advantage of that if you haven't yet. As far as conduits go, for single target major damage, go with Dissonant Echoes, Haunting Apparitions, Rabid Shadows, all easy, easy fun ones. Back to legendaries, the best one for Shadow Priest is Shadow Flame Prism. It's the combination with the Night Fae Covenant and Mindbender talent. It really makes the legendary very strong on single target and stacked AoE. Like we said, optimally, you're crafting that on your hands. The second best Lego is Talbodar's Stratagem, and the legendary actually is slightly weaker than Shadow Flame Prism, even with its recent nerf. However, if you're using the legendary, just make sure you use Void Torrent, Void Torrent instead of Mindbender, and build those on your legs. Finally, Int is by far our best stat. Really just drives up the magnitude of the spells we have. Haste is your next preferred stat, followed by Mastery, and then Crit, and finally Verse. And Verse isn't getting a ton of love. Shadow Priests all across Shadowlands are a little choked about that. Now, if you're really looking to min max, you could go play Goblin, since you get a 1% haste buff as a Goblin. It really just allows you to get a little bit more damage. Goblins are really popular because of the utility they get with the rocket jump, so take that in mind. Finally, on the Alliance side, Mechanome or Void Elf. Really, Mechanome sims the highest, but basically the same as Goblin. In fact, I think it's just an Alliance Goblin. Um, the added mobility from Void Elves is actually pretty decent, so keep that in mind. From an opening perspective, make sure you're maintaining Vampiric Touch, Shadow Word Pain on your target. Try to maintain high uptime on Devouring Plague. Apply Void Torrent or Mindbender depending on the Lego you're wearing, and then Mind Blast. Alright folks, I know that was quick, but that's what we're going for. Thanks for checking out the raid guide. Good luck with the Sanctum of Domination, and let me know in the comments how you do. Talk to you soon. Later.